Hello, Reds from around the world. Welcome to All for United. I am your host, Joe O'Neill, and I'm surrounded by a couple. Actually, I just realized that you guys have your names plus your Twitter handles in a thing, and that's something I have no notion about. So something I feel like out of the loop. I feel like I'm a broken human being right now, and thanks for making me feel as miserable as I look with this scraggy little shitty beard that is coming through out of nowhere. Yeah, so guys, wherever you are watching the world, we are previewing Temi. Unfortunately, can't make it this evening because he's doing something American, which means he's probably doing an insurrection. I presume so. Hammer might be there. What's up with you? What's up, guys? That's pretty cool. Hey, Hammer, what's up? What's up with you? Thanks so much for joining us. Is there an insurrection plan for this evening? We're trying to figure out why Temi couldn't make it and why I had to come in, but that tends to be what they're doing. Stuart, lads on tour, lads, banter. Whoa! I don't. I don't know if that's a yes or no. I'm not sure. But yeah, we are here. We're here to preview the United versus West Ham coming up on Sunday evening, which works out perfectly because I can actually watch the. Oh wait, hold on. What time is the match on at actually?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Oh, Waller Red should be. Yeah, that should be fine. Anyway, and there's Stuart saying hello to himself again. Okay. If no one else can be polite to say hi to Stuart, then he has to do it himself. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. I'm here with Jeff. I'm here with Stuart. We're here for the next hour. Oh, several beers deep. I am incredibly jealous of you, Stuart. I plan to be in the same state this time tomorrow night. Make sure to watch back on all of James McLean's best goals for Ireland. You can literally watch all of them because they're all the best goals, especially Jeff. Stuart, when he scored against Austria for us, which helped us get to the European Championship. Watch all them. It's great. Just check it out. Stuart is upset because we have James McLean and they don't. Don't, Stuart. Don't. Okay.
I'm not saying a word.
No. Okay. This is literally all I have over anyone when it comes to this. Okay.
Look, go on.
Yeah. Thank you. I will take on Stuart O'Hara. I will not take on Stuart Woolley. Okay, however you say your second name, because English fans have Woolley, fine. Yeah, Woolley.
Like a jumper.
But wherever you guys are watching, because I see we just got a like on Facebook, come over to YouTube, come over to someone forget to tell Jeff to wear white today. We didn't forget to tell him. He just decided to go rogue. This is the sort of thing of like, if you're ever trying to pick out who the bad guy is, just saying, okay? Wearing black, the away jersey, I think, the third jersey even. I'm just saying, Brendan. We were ready. Oh fuck. Here we go. Okay, Stuart's going to be on my back for the rest of the evening. At work, but still a couple of bowls deep. Bowls. Cornflakes. Okay, I don't know what to do, Amber. I actually don't know what you work as. That could be slang, and if it is slang, I think we'll take a wild guess of what that's slang for. But at least we'll know that going forward. Yes, roll on the show. And John said we will roll on the show now. Yeah, wherever you're watching, guys, there's a good heap of you watching. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Come over. I'm not putting this on the screen. If anyone knows what Tom is talking about, just literally look at the chat. You didn't. I appreciate it, Emma. I appreciate it. We got this subtly beforehand, jokingly, but thanks so much, all the same. But wherever you're watching, come over to YouTube, get a like on this video, help us get the 20 likes. Once we get the 20 likes, I'll be asking a question. The first 5 people get that question who answered it correctly will be put into a draw for Football Town Apparel. The draw is happening tomorrow afternoon, so the first amount of names can win for there. So you need to get in now. And also, we'll be previewing the game for about 20 minutes, half an hour. Then we'll do the Q&A. Wherever you're watching, if you have any questions for us, for all the guys here, let us know, put them into the chat, and we'll have a bit of crack with that for 15-20 minutes or so. But take your questions now, and we'll come to it in about half an hour. You son of a bitch. It is too early. It is too early for this sort of shade, Stuart. It is greatly appreciated. Not by me as much as seemingly everyone else, but thanks for taking part, Stuart. And I hope you can think of a nice question to come up with. And my favourite actually goal for Northern Ireland ever scored was Gareth McCauley's against Wales. Sorry, it was 4. I guess that counts as a Wales goal, did it? And how well did you do in that tournament? Same as us. We got knocked out with the champions. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah, Stuart.
Very nice.
Joe painted his room. Joe got a different room. Jamie, thanks so much for joining us. We have not even started yet. We're 5 minutes in, and it's just been us having a laugh. It's going great. We haven't even got a drink. Yeah, we haven't even got a drink yet. Have a great show. I'll try to watch it when I can. Well, why don't you watch it right now, like everyone else is, Hammer?
Yeah.
Look at this, guys. At least let us get to the let me get through the Q&A round before the immediate attack happened. Before the attack.
Great stuff.
Brendan, if you want to throw that question, never again, I'd appreciate it. Save that for a Temmie show, okay?
Brilliant.
Finally moved out of the basement then. They finally let me out of the basement more so.
I like it.
Yeah, but cool, guys. Help us get the 20 likes. I'm not sure where we're on now at the moment, but I say no. Yes, I say no. Thank you, Brendan. You're on my side. But we're looking towards the Sunday, 7 o'clock. We are playing West Ham in a lot bigger match than we would have expected this to be, especially at the start of the season, even up to maybe 3 or 4 months ago. West Ham looked like a great side. Now, we did. You won credibility, Brendan. They've come on leaps and bounds. I'm not the biggest. I don't particularly like West Ham because of their owners and stuff like that. I'm not the biggest fan of them. I do like David Moyes. I think considering what the job he did at Everton, what happened with us, and how he's managed to build himself back up to get this job and do stuff with it. All credit to him and fair play. And I really like Mark Noble as well for the exact opposite reasons to why I hate or despise is a stronger word. Declan Rice. But I'll go on to that later on if anyone wants to know. Sorry, I nearly choked up a little bit when I said that scumbag's name. Anyway, so we're looking towards the game. Obviously, we played Milan the other night. Disappointing result considering how close we were to taking a victory, which we've seen too much of before. But we'll start with what do we expect from West Ham? Stuart, I'm actually going to go to you first, and I'll go to you next, Jeff.
Yeah, it's going to be a relatively tough game. I think we've got 6 injuries, haven't we, to our kind of attacking section. So there's a very good chance that you may well see Ahmed make his debut, or at least get a few more minutes than what we saw on Thursday night. The good thing about West Ham is they don't tend to score that many goals. I think Souček's their leading scorer on 8, and I think Antonio's got 7. So they're not hugely a goal-scoring threat, but what they are is dangerous on set pieces. And we've obviously seen again on Thursday that is a big, big problem for us. It's still if we're zonal marking. And the thing about zonal marking, I've said it before, zones can't score. And the issue is their attacking play is getting 1 or 2 steps to get the power on the header and to get a bit of momentum. So it's a bit of a problem for us. What I would say is, and I tend to agree with you, Joe, I think David Moyes has finally found a home. What happened at United definitely, tarnished him, and I think it scarred him. And it's taken him a long time to get any kind of sense of belonging. And that's quite dangerous because what he's done is quietly and confidently, under the radar, assembled a very, very good side. So what I'm hoping is, Ollie's come out and already said we've got problems in terms of squad depth, and he's looking at even possibly bringing Hugel in from what I've read today. So it's going to be a very, very difficult game. We're going to have to defend well, but we're going to have to start on the front foot. We can't have this, mincing about for 20 minutes again. We've got to get at the front foot. We need to get a couple of goals, and we need to make it quite an easy night, because by the time Thursday comes around next week, it's going to be very, very difficult. So, it's hard to know what to expect, from us. It's hard to know what team Ollie can play. So it's a bit of it's a difficult one, really. I don't know what Jeff about it, but I think it's a tricky one to call.
Yeah, it is tough. I didn't expect us to win against West Ham the last time we played them, and we did quite well, especially in the second half. But of course, we had a better team then. We are at home, which means we're probably not going to win, which is tough too. But Jeff, I'll come to you now as well. What are you expecting from the game and from West Ham?
Well, the one thing that's going for us going to the game is like we have an unpredictable 11, like for the first time in a long while. As George said, there were like 6 or 7 injuries, so we're super thin. Although we don't use that as an excuse, unlike other bin dippers out there, right? So, so yeah, I think Ahmad might get an extended debut. Oh well, extended Premier League debut. Uh with the defense, well, Lindelof's gonna come on, and good thing Jesse can't play for us, so because he's been like one of the turning points for their team, right? As for Moyes, I think he's perfectly comfortable at that kind of club, like at that level. He was with Everton, and they were like a low profile yet overachieving club, and I guess he can do the same with West Ham. United was just too big for him, I guess. And I can't fault him for that. There are some people who can thrive under lower profile teams, and then when you get to the spotlight, then they can't really handle it. But kudos to him, props to him. I guess he's just gonna go there, stay there for a long while. But yeah, since we're playing at home, it's gonna be really tricky. But at least we're unpredictable. That midfield and defense will I guess they'll just try to soak up the pressure. And then our front three, which is probably, as someone mentioned in the chat, it's like going to be Greenwood, James, and then Ahmad. Well, that's going to be fun to watch. But I hope they get the service they deserve. So let's see. If we get a result, like a point, I think that would be good for us. Then again, it's going to be tricky for our top 2 hopes. So.
Yeah, I can't deal with us just getting a point from this game. We should be winning our home games, and we should be able to beat West Ham, and like you said, they're not scoring. We just have to outscore them. We played them twice this season. We beat them twice, and the second time we played them in neither time they really got a hold of us. Like, they play better us in the first half of the first game, but when we turn on the pace that we had them in the FA Cup game, we should have won that game in regular time. We didn't play that great, but we played better than them, and I just feel that we are, even with our injuries, we are a better team. But do we expect to see? I don't like calling him Ahmad. I hate calling. This is a pet peeve of mine. I hate calling footballers by their first names. The only time I allow it, do you know what I mean, is if they if that's in the back of their jersey. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why Ahmed, I understand. But like, I hate people going around, especially Liverpool fans, calling Andy like Robertson Robbo. I'm like, you're not his mate. Call him Robertson or Andy Robertson, not Robbo. Okay, sorry. But Stuart, you are right. Tough game, took extra time last time. It did, absolutely, but that would have been a frustrating 0-0 draw when we should have beaten them in regular time, if you know what I mean. But do we expect to see Amad Diallo? Do you expect to see him start? Stuart, come to you first. How many changes are you expecting from the game against Milan?
I don't expect him to start, but if you looked at the bench that we had on Thursday, it was woeful at best. And I think perhaps Ollie might have to get a little bit creative for this particular game in terms of whether or not he employs Shaw and Tellez on the left, perhaps. Because we know that James and Greenwood are going to play. We know Rashford's out. Cavani, nobody seems to know what's going on with Cavani at the minute, which is pretty disappointing. Van der Beek, Mata, I didn't even know Mata was injured, but he clearly is. And so I can't see Ahmad playing. I think he'll get creative, and I think you'll probably, if anything, you'll see a front 2 and Bruno in his usual number 10 role. And I would imagine he'll pack out in the midfield a little bit. So whether it, as I say, he employs Tellez and Shaw down the left, that would probably make a little bit of sense this week to add a bit more of attacking threat. I don't think he's done that before. I can't see him going to a back 3 at all. And I can't see anything past McFred, if I'm being honest.
Oh, yeah.
And so I would imagine Tellez or I just thought maybe Tuanzebe perhaps as a bit of a wild card in there as well in the midfield. But I would envisage a front two with Bruno in behind, and then McFred plus another whoever that may be.
Yeah. It's not the most. Oh, you're back up again. We have a good number coming in as well, guys. Wherever you're watching, come over to YouTube, give a like on this YouTube video, help us get to 20 likes before the end of this. And what? Hold on. What's this? Sorry, Joe. The thing is, his name is Aman Traore, but for some reason they keep calling him by his middle name, Diallo. What do we call them then, Joe? Can't call you Joe anymore. No, I meant footballers. I don't mean. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, you can call them whatever you want. I just get annoyed when it's like a nickname or whatever like that. But if it's on the back of the jersey, call them that. Like, I'm not actually saying don't call them that. Okay, but it just annoys me anyway. Sorry, Jeff, coming to you. How many kids are you expecting to see in a starting lineup? And I like the video. I can't remember if I said it. And also get your questions ready. 10 minutes or so. We're going to go to the Q&A round. If you want any us to answer any questions, get them ready, get them in, and get liking this video. So, Jeff, who are you expecting to see and how many kids?
Well, like, if they're going to start Ahmad, it's really more on necessity rather than just he prefers it, because we're just really super thin right now. As for the wild cards, Tellus is a good shout. He can play like any part of the left side of the field, whether it's a fullback or midfield or winger. Another wild card to throw out there is like Brandon Williams. Maybe he stays on the right midfield or something like that. We can't play three at the back. That's too conservative for a team like West Ham. Then again, we can always, as I said, it's pretty unpredictable. But yeah, you have your standard with McFred, then Maguire, then Henderson, and then Luke Shaw, and maybe Aaron Wan-Bissaka. But other than that, Bruno. Sorry, how could I forget? But yeah, Bruno.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greenwood's going to lead the line most definitely. James will start out of necessity as well, and his form has. Well, it's not that great. Well, it's not that bad, but I think it's dipped for a while, the past couple of games. So I hope it doesn't continue on this Sunday. But yeah, I think if Ahmad can start, I'm not saying he should start, but he can start. Then again, we'll see.
I mean, he can start, Jeff. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
if he does start, it gives Ollie his opportunity to go with McFred, to go with Bruno, and then the three up top, doesn't it? Which would be Ahmed, James, and Greenwood. But the problem you've got with that is that, and I mentioned on Karthik's show the other night that Greenwood just isn't a number 9 right now. He hasn't got that wherewithal about him. He's not a 6-yard box player. And against Southampton, you're going to need that. You've also got a lack of height as well up front. We've got no height there whatsoever in terms of, and we've got no heading ability up there either. And I don't mean the voice of doom, but these, unfortunately, are the cards that are dealt with us at the moment. What you've got is a bit of trickery. But the biggest problem is as well with Greenwood is he's lost his bottle because he just isn't shooting. He's, there was a couple of chances on Thursday where he should have got, put a left foot shot in. So he's got to shoot. I would love to see Diallo play. I don't think it's the right time because he'll be up against Creswell. Creswell's quite a physical fullback. And Joe's mate Declan will be in there ratting around in the midfield. So you're right, Jeff. With Ahmed there, it would give Ollie his favoured formation. I just don't know whether or not Martial might be fit. We know he's got a hip injury. We know he's been for a scan. To me, the team needs you, mate. Grow a set of balls and get out there. That's what I would say. But I do agree with you, Jeff, on your suggestions.
That sort of talk is gross and balls. I think the reason Roy Keane got sacked from the club back in against Middlesbrough. And guys, I actually love that there's not a huge thing, but there's a big argument going on in the chat now about his name is this. We can call him this. Yeah, it's Mr. Traore. Call him whatever you want, lads. I'm only saying my pet peeve is when football fans think that they're mates with footballers. It's unless the name is on the back of the jersey, like Virgil van Dijk, he is Virgil on the back of his jersey. Fine, you can call him Virgil, but like that's annoying me. But it's fine. It's the same with Diallo. I know him with Diallo. He has Ahmed on his back. Fine, call him Ahmed. We have to call him Ahmed. That's grand. I prefer Diallo because I'm used to saying it. But like, it's just a pet peeve I have. Okay, guys, it's just a pet peeve. So wherever you're watching, please like the video, guys. Like I said, help us get to 20 likes. I think we just covered them. And please get your questions ready in the next 5 minutes or so. Joe gets annoyed. I do get annoyed when the wind blows the wrong way. And I don't understand why you wouldn't. Like, if you're expecting the wind to blow one way and you're walking down the street and then suddenly it's in your face, why would you not be annoyed about that? I don't understand. Why would you be happy about the wind being blown the wrong way? That makes no sense to me. Liverpool fans annoy me regardless. Absolutely. So, guys, get your questions in. We'll be going to that section very, very shortly. We're going to get leave daily Blind. Okay, Brown Knight. I'm going to give you that one. It is annoying when he comes down the street when you're not expecting it. So get your questions coming in now, guys. We're going to get onto that part very shortly. But for the final part of the Winds of Change, absolutely. The Winds of Change. Joe is an actor. Thank you. Joe is a playwright and an actor. Go to Joe O'Neill on YouTube and check out my short films. I'm not in many of them, but you can see how good I am. So please, Brendan, thank you for... Listen to Brendan. Joe should be an actor. Joe fucking is an actor. So what are we expecting from the game, guys? What way do you want to set up to play, and what do you think the outcome will be? And then after that, we'll get your score results into that.
I actually fully expect us to win. I do think that West Ham will put us under a lot of pressure, and I think they'll press us quite high. I don't expect them to run with a low block, actually, because they're not very good defensively. So I do expect us to win. I just have a worry at our squad depth, and I think whatever happens, Mr. Morto and Mr. Fletcher will have a lot of head scratching about what's happened with our squad, and it's not as deep and not as rich as I think we thought it was. We're coming into the business end of the season now, and these are the types where players have got to really pull up their socks. You're carrying a bit of a knock, so be it. Get on with it. Stop, poncing about, get on with it and get out there and play, because we need every single player right now. They've got to step up to the plate. I know there's a massive things in the chat about Ahmad starting. You've got to be careful sometimes what you wish for, because if he has a poor game, it could damage him. It could set him back. I'm not saying it will. I'm not saying he will. He'll have a poor game, but it could be damaging. So Ollie's got to manage him right, because he's going to have Shuritai on the bench as well. And possibly Hugel as well. We could have a very, very young bench, and maybe even two goalkeepers at the rate it's going, because I think Jones is still injured, isn't he, Phil Jones? So,
Jesus Christ!
So, I know I had to get that. It's setup wise, I'm struggling with that, because I do kind of agree with Jeff. I think Ollie will do what he can to make sure he plays his favoured formation. But it's my worry is up front, and where is the goal going to come from if it isn't a Bruno free kick or a bit of Bruno masterclass? So maybe, look, I remember a very young Cristiano Ronaldo being thrown into the deep end at Bolton.
Yeah, that's right.
And Bolton were a vicious side at that time, and he just got on with it. So perhaps Ahmed has got that mentality and that wherewithal and that will to win. But I would imagine he won't start. I would probably say that they will get Martial fit somehow for this game, and Ahmad on the bench, but he will come on.
2-0, and who's scoring?
Well, here's the thing. It's gonna have to be Bruno. It's really predictable, and I know it is, and I'm sorry, everybody, but I can't see past Bruno.
That's absolutely fair, and no one ever will. Jeff, coming to you, same question. How do you expect to set up? What do you expect from the game, and final result and goal score?
The formation, I guess it's really more. He's gonna, as Stu said, he's gonna try and his best to just put in that 4-2-3-1 setup. Then again, with the scoring, I'm just going with the 1-0 with Bruno. But in fairness to Ahmad, if he does come on, he's like one of the few players on our lineup right now who can make those cutting runs into the box. Like the other one who can do that is like Cavani and maybe Shortiri, but like Rashford, Martial, they don't do those types. Even Greenwood, he doesn't do those types of number 9 runs that we need to do. So that gives us a new wrinkle in terms of. So it can be 1-0 from a Bruno free kick or a 2-0 with, say, with like Ahmad getting that super pass from Bruno. So hopefully we get the win. But I'm not gonna be surprised if we get a draw, and of course we're gonna be pissed if we just lose again at home, because that's been a disappointing pattern for the whole year. That's been.
Yeah, you're singing in compliments here. It's going wonderful, Jeff. But what give us your final result, score, and who's scoring?
Oh, I said 1-0 with a Bruno free kick, or a Bruno out of nowhere goal. We can be 2-0 if he gets Ahmad running into the box.
Cool.
But yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. And guys, just for a finish on the preview section, please get your questions in now. We've got a great one there from Brown Knight, and keep them coming in for myself and the guys to discuss all things United and get your thoughts on them too. And you can sound off on the comments. We love getting your thoughts in. Also, please like the video if you've yet to do so yet. And please, please, please don't ask what was the funniest thing that happened to you at a football game. Don't ask that. Stuart specifically asked me not to ask that question because he hasn't got an answer for it. He hasn't got an answer that he hopes that he can get the answer. So please, if anyone's out there, don't ask that question. Okay, do not do it. So I don't know how many likes are on, Brown. You've been keeping up to date, which is fantastic. We're going to go to your question first as well. Q&A. I just put Q&A before you ask questions, so we know we're coming to you straight away. Phil Jones' testimonial is the first game fans are allowed back into Old Trafford. Thoughts and reactions? Well, if that is, I don't think that's a fact. Is it? I don't think that's like the actual. I don't think he's getting one. Like, but if that was the case, would you go to it? And how well do you think it would go down? Jeff, I'll go to you first.
Is that something that's required? Like if you get 10 years, you get a required testimonial?
Yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Really? I'm not sure. I mean, I guess people flock in just because it's the first normal game back. So I guess he'd get a good number, but not sure he's going to play either because he's still injured.
Yeah.
So he might be the coach. But yeah, people will watch it just because they miss that being in a normal football game for a long while. So, but the reaction, haha, I'm gonna laugh about it. But yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Stuart came up with it there, and it's true. Jones reportedly said he wouldn't take a testimonial because he feared no one would turn up, and that is the truth. But the only time it could happen that people would turn up would be if it was right after this. So right. I go to you, Stuart. I go to you. What would it take you much to go?
Look, Phil Jones, for all his faults, and he's got plenty of them, as we all know, is a Manchester United player. And so we should get behind him, whatever. He's been 10 years at the club, which is no mean feat, because not everybody could say he's been at Manchester United for 10 years. You know, you're at the pinnacle of club football when you're at our great club. And Phil Jones is there. So I would think that he is a meme with his gurning face, and he is a division amongst fans. But I would like to think that a lot of fans would still support one of our players, and he is one of our players. And so that's my take on it. Bless him.
That's such a dad answer. Oh, leave the poor chap alone, would you?
Yes, leave him alone.
I would say the only way you can get fans there would be if it was this sort of situation coming out of lockdown and no other choice. But can we get some in the chat? Who would the team be? Who would you play against? Who would be the rival team? It always tends to be a random team. I remember.
It'd go Blackburn.
Maybe Blackburn. Yeah,
it'd go Blackburn.
Do you think Blackburn?
That's where we got him from. So he'd just go Blackburn.
Okay, that's a very dull answer, but fine. We'll agree
Of
with
course it
Blackburn.
is. There you go. James is brilliant. Well done,
Another here
Brendan.
by
Well done.
yeah, it's a good one. Good one. John Kermode, Q&A following Ahmed's brilliant first goal last night. What are your favorite first goal from any United player in any player in a United shirt? That's a fucking great question. I think I know mine. But I've Stuart, have you got one yet? Jeff, you got one?
Well,
Stuart, I go to Stuart first.
yeah,
Then Jeff.
okay, go ahead.
Well, my favourite first goal was Rooney's first in his European debut against Fenerbahce. I think it's Fenerbahce.
It was Fenerbahce.
Yep, it was.
He scored a hat-trick, didn't he? And I just thought it was a brilliant finish, brilliant take and a brilliant finish to an very, very expectant Old Trafford. And, for a young kid to come to, as I've said before, the greatest club on the planet, to take that goal with such poise and like a seasoned professional was wonderful to see. My favourite goal. No,
that's a different question. The question was only favourite.
I know, but I've got to tell him this.
Okay.
Sammy McIlroy in the 79 FA Cup final, getting the equaliser from the edge of the box. It was a brilliant goal until that absolute moron, Alan Sunderland, went up the other end of the pitch and popped one in because Bailey was just out of his goal. But as a goal, as a spectacle, as an edge of your seat moment, that's up there with the best. But Wayne Rooney for me. And what can I just say? What a great question as well. What a great.
That's a great question. That's a great question. Jeff, coming to you now.
Well, the most recent one that I remember, because I'm trying to remember the ones from the Fergie years, but I can't. Good shout on the Rooney one. He did score a hat trick on February, and then that was unbelievable. Well, the Makeda goal. Yeah. The Makeda goal.
Oh, wow.
That was amazing. Like, personally, that's my wish for Ollie. Like, he's got to throw a wrench into his own starting 11 just to crazy things up. If it's not working, get a random youth player and then just throw him in the deep end and let's see. Because it's still he's got nothing to lose anyways. But yeah, that Makeda goal was just wow. Out of nowhere, he comes on and then he actually loses the ball at first, right? And then just turns and then just curls it into the far post. So that was amazing, man.
Oh my god, that's a great one. Considering that Makeda literally did nothing with his career afterwards, and it was the sink. And I love that Makeda. I can't do it.
Amazing.
That's a tough one. I was gonna say I was at because I didn't get to see many United games in my previous couple of years of being alive, but I saw. Michael Carrick's first ever. No, I didn't see because he scored against Roma. I saw Michael Carrick's first Premier League goal. I saw Louis Saha score on his debut. I saw, but the one that came to mind, and it definitely your ones are definitely better, but I don't know why it came to mind was Robin van Persie against. Was it Fulham? No. Was it Villa? No. It was at home. I think it was Fulham. It was because we lost to Everton the first day of the season, and he came on the sub and he didn't do anything. Yeah. And then the following game he scored, and everyone. I remember the memes going around being like, "Oh, where's the receipt?" and all this sort of stuff. And then he scored his first goal. I believe it was against Fulham in the next game, and then it just it kicked on from there, and then we won the title. So that was the first one that came to mind.
Oh, it's a great one. It's a good shout. Because I thought most people might have gone for Martial against Liverpool.
That's great. Yeah,
getting his third goal. But we're all generational here anyway. We've all remembered different time periods of football, and that's the great thing about this panel and the Q&A session. And that's why I wanted to bring the McIlroy goal up because it was so special. It was such a special goal, and so that's why I said it.
No, it's great. It is a great one. And guys, keep your questions coming in. These are fantastic. There's one here from. I'll find the little bollocks now. Hama, where are you little shithead?
I did say that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Guys, keep your questions coming in. And look, bring it on. Okay. Question: can Declan Rice do anything that could make Joe actually like him? And you know what? I have an answer to that, but Stuart did it first for me. Not to sign for United, renounce his English passport and caps, and apologise to Joe. Even then, it would take a lot. What's this one?
So, my take on international football, by the way, and all this passport bollocks, it drives me absolutely up the wall. It does, because there's a position with Wan-Bissaka, isn't it? He could play for
Congo,
can't he?
And some other small country. England.
No, no, but the thing about this dual passport is, why should you choose? Why should a player be in a position where he can choose? Because what's his name? Januzaj. He had about 5 countries he could play for, didn't he? And I don't get this. And what I certainly don't agree with is if you've played for a country and then you're allowed to switch allegiances.
Well,
I just don't buy it. I know there's a rule and a loophole, but I just don't agree with it. If you've already played for a country, whether it's under 18 level, under 20 level, or whatever, you should. That's it. That's your country. The end.
I don't think so. Underage. And look, we have to look at it for real, all right? And it's not a case of, look, I'm a country who benefits from it. Like, let's be honest.
I appreciate that. Yeah, you
are. So, like, for me, it comes down to both, like, a player might feel differently about country as they get older. Also, they have to look at it and go, I'm not going to play for this country, but I can play. Like, there's a huge thing going on with Munair. He's a guy who played for Spain, all right? And the rule is, you can play for playing friendlies. I personally think if you ever play in a friendly for one country and then play for the other, you're a scumbag. I
agree. Yeah. Actually, no, I agree. That's kind of my point. I don't agree with it. You see,
but like underage, I'm kind of fine with. To an extent, that's why Jack Grealish, I can be okay with him signing for United. All right, but okay, Munair, he plays for Spain. He played 15 minutes in one championship game, and was like, I want to play for Morocco now, and they won't let him. They won't let him swap over. And that's devastating, but a great story. And by the way, this is why I love McTominay as well, because there's every possibility, like, he's playing for a Champions League level club, starting with them a lot of times, young player. Like, there's every chance he could have been capped for England if he really wanted it, but he wanted to play for Scotland, even though he's born in England. That was a huge decision for him to make, and I'm so happy that he did that. Because the thing that goes around, agents will say, because agents are getting too involved, and we know all about this, is one cap for England is worth more than 100 caps for Ireland or Scotland or Wales. For advertise, for all that sort of stuff, puts the price up. So agents get in your ear and you can't do anything. But Stuart McCall, you might know him. Unfortunately, he played for Rangers, but he did play for Bradford as well, and that's not least. So that's good. He has a great story. Okay, he's born Yorkshire man all the way up, right?
Yeah, he is Yorkshire.
He was called up to the under-21s to play for England, right? And he was warming up. And the thing was, back then, if you played anything underage, you were that was your country. But as he was warming up, he was like, I want to play for Scotland. Do you know, he realized as he was warming, was like, this isn't my country. I want to play for Scotland, okay? So as it was like 5 minutes left, and they were like calling him, it's like, come down, Stuart, come down. And he would be up at the corner flag warming up and just pretend he couldn't hear them. And then ran away until the whistle went. And then, because if he was brought on, he would have been fucked. So he made the decision. He hit up there and then went away. So love Stuart McCall, even though he played for Rangers. He did. Stop smiling. And we got another good question in from Callum. Callum, thanks so much for joining us, my man. Sorry to miss tonight, lads. No problem, Callum. I'm sure we'll get you on soon. Who should be United captain? And that is, I'm guessing, from our current 11. Who should be United captain? Jeff, go to you first on that. Who would you put as our captain?
Well, easy answer would be Bruno. with Harry, they're both inconsistent lately. Like Bruno's been knackered. You see his legs are not what it used to be. Like for I guess a month now. So, but with Harry, he's a different type of captain. But his inconsistencies, I guess, is more frustrating. And then when he does make these accountability shouts, like I think the last time was with Rashford, right? Like, yeah, he's in the right position to do so, but it for some reason it just doesn't look right if he does it. But when Bruno does it, like okay, he does it, even if it's not captain, that's all right. So for me in the current 11, it should be Bruno, but I guess it'll help if there's a more vocal leader outside the captain, just because we can get more voices into the referees during the VAR. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, Bruno for me, if you ask me.
Cool, Stuart. I'll go to you now. Same thing.
Yeah, well, I have a bit of a different view on captain's period, really, because I never really paid any attention to any of the captains I played under because I was shouting and bawling and screaming just as much as they were, along with 5 or 6 other players. And there's a lot made about who should captain your team. Look, basically, a captain goes up, tosses the coin, comes back. Any team that's got a collective group that's got anything about them, you have 7, 8, 9 captains. I was terrible, always shouting, always.
Yeah.
So was our goalkeeper, so was our centre half, so was our striker, so was our winger. And so for me, it doesn't really matter who is our captain on the pitch. Now, with a professional football outfit, it does kind of matter off the pitch. And it really matters what he's like around the team, what he's like around in training. And we're not privy to any of that. And so I think it's very easy to say Maguire's not a captain because there's a lot more to it than that. But on the football pitch, for me, it's just, no, not interesting.
Yeah.
Saturday, brown night. Saturday, mate. I never played Sunday. It's fucking weak. Rubbish. Sunday was great. Saturday football, pal.
That's fair. What you're saying, anyway.
That's just me. That's just me. My own opinion.
And I would actually say that Harry Maguire should be captain because I think he is a great spokesman for the club and he's listened to and respected on the pitch. And whether we hear moments of players telling him to fuck off, people told Roy Keane to fuck off, people told other people to fuck off. On the pitch, it was grand. It was when it was outside, that's when he had a problem with it. But you can say what you wanted to him as long as you were up to standard. Everyone's a different side. So I think Harry Maguire is a fine captain. I hate the stick he's getting.
I don't think he shouldn't be captain, but I just have a preference. Yeah,
that's fair. That's no problem. Good question here from Ugly Bear. Q&A. What would you make about the Lukaku late payment by Inter? They say they can't pay the fee. Do you think that there's any truth? Is there a chance of getting Martinez, is that his name, or re-sign Lukaku? What do you think the outcome of that would be? I'll go to you first, Jeff, on that one.
We're not going to re-sign Lukaku. That's for sure.
Yeah,
he just doesn't fit the way we play right now. But then again, it's highly probable that it's true, just because they don't earn as much as the Premier League teams do. So, yeah, it might be a late payment on their end. Excuse me. But if we do get that option to pick a player from their lineup just to make up for that late payment, I'd go with Brozovic. Yeah. We need a bit more muscle with more control in the midfield. Skriniar maybe a couple of years ago, but actually, as we see, he's not that big of a deal right now. So, if we were able to choose a player out of their 11, I'd get Brozovic.
That's fair. Stuart, for yourself, what are your thoughts on this whole late payment debacle?
It happens all the time, doesn't it? Certainly now I'm not surprised that clubs are struggling with finances. If that is the case and they can't afford to pay us, then I'm with Jeff. Get Brozovic. I think he's a quality player. It's just a damning indictment of where we are. Every club is with finances. are looking for him to win the league, which it looks like they will do. You know, I'm sure they'll come to some kind of agreement. I did hear that we're not exactly the. Sometimes we've been a little bit late paying installments for whatever reason, so it could be anything. It's a good question. And people are looking at Lukaku's form at the minute and thinking, well, we've made a bit of a mistake by letting him go, and I think that's probably what more people are getting at with regards to Inter Milan not paying us. Because the bottom line is, if you've only got to take it to UEFA, and it's sorted, isn't it? So, you know, the UEFA can put sanctions in on them, can't they? Champions League, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So, I would imagine it was brought up mainly because of Lukaku's form. And fair play, he's played quite well. So, but yeah, he's a great player.
But in saying that as well, yeah, absolutely. I think United are not going to try to make enemies out of Inter. I'd say they'll probably say throw an extra couple of % interest on it and pay it back in a couple of months or whatever. They want to keep Inter on side, and maybe it's also to keep them happy. And they might say down the road, maybe in 2 years' time, we'll look at this player, might sign him, all this sort of stuff. So I don't think anything's. I think they want to keep these teams happy rather than make a nuisance out of it. And maybe they put it into the press just to see what would happen. Thing with Lukaku, I don't want him back. I think Serie A suits him. I was actually on a podcast yesterday, the Milan guys podcast, and we're discussing this. Like,
I saw your little J. I saw your J.
Yeah.
What was all that about?
I don't have a clue. I don't have a notion, if I'm being honest. But like the Italian league has fallen so far that. Look, he's not going to do anything here. I personally think the Premier League is too strong, too tough. It's just not that he'll do well like every so often, but like we've seen it consistently, he's just not good enough for the Premier League. Still a great player, and still will do it in the international, do it in La Liga maybe even, but Serie A is slower, and there's a lot more for him to run at there. I think it suits him down to the ground, and he's perfect there. So I don't want him back. I'd rather have good relations with Inter Milan. We'll take maybe 3 more questions. I have 2 more lined up here. If anyone wants to get a cool question in now, get it in, please, before we see the day out. But we have a great question here. I think you answered it already in the chat, though, but you can say it again. Where is this? This is great. Oh, here we go. From Jacob. Q&A. Other than Old Trafford, very presumptuous. What is your favorite stadium you have been to? It can be any. Oh, it can be any sport. Okay. Jeff, do you want to go first?
Oh, good question. That is.
Well, there's not much sports arenas in our area, but I've been to the National Sports Stadium of Singapore when United was in there doing the preseason. Here in Asia, like I think that was like 2019. Well, that's a great. Singaporeans here are like. The Europe of Southeast Asia, so they get everything like much more advanced, much more comfortable, and they really think about the convenience of the people. But yeah, that's a great stadium, the NUS. NSS, yeah. It was a great game as well. It was green. I think Greenwood scored around the 70th minute. But yeah, because it's one of the stadiums that all of our stadiums are outdoor, but it seemed like it was air conditioned. For some reason, I didn't know how they do it, but it was outdoor, open air, and then it's air conditioned. So that's why it's my favorite, because it can get really hot here in Manila and in Singapore even. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, we're 5 away from getting 20 likes. Please help us get to 20 likes. 5 more people get on board. Just like the video, please. Like me. Is Jeff in Singapore?
No, I'm in Manila.
Yeah,
like 4 hours away.
Yeah, Trilla and Manila.
1 flight away, yeah. Trilla and Manila. There we go.
Stuart, for yourself, best maybe an away day. Maybe if you have a comical story about that too. But I wouldn't say that's your favorite stadium.
Do you know, I've been fortunate enough. I've been to the Nou Camp. I've been to the San Siro. And I've been to, some great UK stadiums. And Arsenal is brilliant. The new Emirates is absolutely brilliant. But I'm going to agree with Ugly Bear on this one. Great, because the old Wembley for me was just magical. Absolutely brilliant. Just
Jeff,
the atmosphere.
sorry, Stuart, can I ask, is that for England games or for cup games? or both, or which?
For both.
Yeah.
I've seen. Yeah, I've watched cup games there in England, but going up and watching and walking up to the Twin Towers was it's a little bit special. That is a little bit special.
Yeah, That's a great shout. That's a great shout. 17 likes. We're getting there, guys. 3 more likes. Please help us get 3 more likes out of 20. My favorite stadium ever. I have 2 games that stand out for me. I'm lucky enough. I've been at loads from different. I think Stuart said the same thing. I love going to see different sports, different stadiums, and I've had a fair fill. And I'm hoping to get lots more in. The most crappiest atmosphere ever, in a kind of fun, wholesome way, was I went to see who was it? New England Revolution against NYCFC in an MLS game. I've seen two MLS games. One of them was that one, okay, and we were in the home stand. Their chant was so funny because my cousin Jack was there too, and he's a season ticket holder for Cheltenham, like a proper football fan. Goes home and away all the time, So like this atmosphere, it was loads of like quirky Americans, and their chant was like, "We are bad at home, we are bad away, we are NYCFC, and we are just okay." And I was like, it made my skin crawl, okay, because it was the first season up. Like, it was actually the game I was at was kind of famous. It was Pirlo. It became a meme. The ball came in, and he was playing for NYCFC, and they scored a header, but the header went right over Pirlo's head, and he just didn't move. He just looked. He didn't even look. He just moved. He just didn't give a shit. So that game. But then I saw the most like mad one for like ex Premier League legends. I saw NYCFC against again. Oh, sorry, I'm going to get to this one as well, Stuart. Yes, I've been to Croke Park. Croker is the national stadium of Ireland, the greatest stadium in the world. And definitely go there, Stuart. It is on a great day. The atmosphere is unbeatable. But I went to see NYCFC against LA Galaxy, okay? And NYCFC had David Villa, Andrea Pirlo, Frank Lampard. I think Frank Lampard was there. Who else was there? There was 1 or 2 other relatively big names. And LA Galaxy had Steven Gerrard, Ashley Cole, Nigel de Jong, and Robbie Keane. And NYCFC were like a lot better then. So like they actually had fans that were there the whole time going crazy. But I was up in like with my girlfriend at the time, and we were watching it, and I was literally just there to support Robbie Keane. I couldn't have given a shit who scored or who lost. I was just there for Robbie Keane. But the best stadium, that wasn't my best. The best stadium I was ever at, the best fun, was I went to see Celtic against Hearts. It was just a middle of the road Premier League game for them, and the atmosphere was out of this world. And I would give anything. I would go there every week to see a game, genuinely. Not so much this season, but the greatest single experience I've ever had a game was seeing Ireland versus Sweden in the European Championships in 2016. I was so drunk. I remember very little, but I remember clearly Wes Hoolahan's goal against Sweden to put us 1-0 up. Like it was yesterday. It was exceptional. But the best atmosphere consistently is Croke Park, which Stuart, I had brought up. It is where we play our national sport, hurling and football. Every final is played there, and a lot of other games. And if you're ever in Ireland, we'll meet up, and if there's a game on, we'll go see it. There's nothing like it. Thurles is better though. Stuart, if you know it, it's where the Munster final is played. Semple Stadium. That's next level. But sorry, we're going a bit off tangent here. Might as well be speaking a different language. But
I've seen a really good question about what is the best goal you've seen scored against.
Yes. I was going that question. Yeah. So we'll get in. Hopefully we're close to 20. Get 20 likes before I ask the question. I'm gonna let one more question come in. So make it a good one, guys. Okay. So Jeff, coming to you first. What is your best goal you've seen scored against Man United?
It's not a particular goal, because I get the games like the day after. So if it's a loss, I don't usually watch it because it's just gonna mess my day up. So, but it's a more performance. That Ronaldo game, Brazilian Ronaldo, Champions League.
Oh wow!
I think that's back in 2003, and I think it was one of the last games that Bex played. He scored a good free kick.
Free kick,
yeah. But Ronaldo, I think he scored a hat trick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
His,
Or-
his
yeah, he
third,
did, right?
his third goal was sublime, wasn't it? His
Yeah.
third goal.
Yeah. I remember it so well. I was fuming, but yeah.
I
We
was
got it.
I was disappointed too because I was up early, as
Yeah.
usual. It's one of the games that I had to catch. They were wearing black, and then just we couldn't do anything about it. You know, it was just amazing, and just hats off to the guy. Just clap.
His first goal was quality as well.
Right.
On the right, the goalkeeper's left, as we see, and he just Because mine, believe it or not, is against Real Madrid as well. But I think it was 2 or 3 years earlier, and it was the Raul tap-in.
Yes.
But the skill from Redondo over on the left wing was just something extra. He kind of did a kind of Cruyff turn, stroke back heel at the time. I think he left Henningberg for dead, if I'm not mistaken.
That wasn't too difficult.
And Ronaldo and Raul, it was just a tap in, but it was just the play, because Redondo that night was just absolutely on a different level.
Yeah,
that's one of the best goals I've seen against us.
Yeah, I remember, and Lee, a frequent collaborator on the show, is in a chat. Great to see you, Lee. Give us a question, Lee, while you're there. I remember the Ronaldo game so well. I remember watching. I was like 13, and I was fuming. I was so angry. I was so mad. And I never got to appreciate it properly. I've been to the new camp as well, Jacob. The first team. That's very nice. Ugly Bear, Rivaldo Bicycle 99. Yes, I don't remember that. I remember watching the treble on repeat so often.
I do. That was in the new camp. That was.
Trial.
And his close control, because he had nowhere to go with it. He was on, I think he was about 8 yards out, if I'm not mistaken. And the way his close control, and then he got it over. It was a wonderful strike.
Do you remember, if you look back at that group stages, first get to the Champions League final, we had 2-2-all draws. Was it 2-2-all draws with Bayern Munich, or 1-2-all, 1-1-all, and 2 3-alls with Barcelona? Yeah. And apparently football is the best it's ever been now. You look back and you're like, top level European football, especially when Serie A was at its peak. There was nothing like it. There was excellent games constantly. There was more free flow and open football. I personally think football has been tactically brought to its knees. I think everything is overplayed. There's no freedom of thought. There's no expression. There's no head on again. It's not being about Keane versus Vieira or that stuff where you watch it. It was basically like watching a boxing match, seeing these two people go head to head. Now it's about teams going head to head, and it's just not the same. Not the same. But
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because back then, I mean, you got world class defenders. You've got world class midfielders, and you've got world class attackers. And each of the top teams had a world-class keeper. Yeah. And by the way, I use the phrase world-class, and I don't actually agree with it, because I think it's a term that's used with no explanation, because I don't actually know what world-class is. But anyway, I'm talking, best in class, then perhaps. Best in class is a better word phrase. Centre-back, midfielder, and striker. In every team, you can name Milan, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, at that particular Arsenal at that particular time. It pains me to say, but they did. And you don't get that anymore, do you? You don't get that thrill and that buzz.
Because look, let's be honest, football has kind of become more so that instead of being 8 to 10 top teams in the world, or in Europe, there's 20 or 30, which means everything's diluted, and you will have these obvious weak points. When you had Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, well, mostly AC Milan and Juventus controlling Serie A, and Lazio and Parma, you had all these teams and Parma when they were there was so much competition at the top for these teams, and whoever got through, and these teams were able to pick out the best players. But unfortunately, that's gone, and it's very frustrating. And it means and look, if City weren't bought, and Chelsea weren't bought, it only would be United, Arsenal, and Liverpool would just be the team going for the title. But there'd be much better teams. All three of them would be far better.
And the players that the top teams get are system players. If you have to play with the system.
Yes.
Like I said during the City game, do people actually enjoy this? Like, it's more just pass back, and then just go forward.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy that actually. So,
Like,
so-
like football shouldn't just be about, like, someone's asked here, I don't know if it's supposed to be a joke or not, why is football so good? But like let's be honest, it's not anymore. I genuinely, like, it's on a whole, it's not. We're looking at moments, really, like, and a game that out of the blue is exceptional. Maybe it's just because we're United fans that we're not seeing, but like, no one's seeing good football consistently.
It's true, really, because I mean, you can go back to when Rude was playing for us and he scored that goal against Fulham at Old Trafford, where he took the ball at just in our half.
That's right.
Elbows there.
A Malbrank. Yeah, I remember that.
And then he does this. And the thing about modern day football is nobody will take that chance anymore. Nobody will take that risk on the ball. Nobody will turn and nobody will drive. They're just not allowed to do it, because what are you doing driving? You get the ball, you lay it off. And then you don't see that. Nothing gets you off your edge of your seat anymore, Joe. I think that's what you're saying, and you're absolutely right. It doesn't get you off the edge of your seat anymore. You know, you see a great save and you think brilliant, but that's maybe one or two small pieces of quite a lethargic.
Okay, here's one. Here's one for you, right? Now this has gone into a more general football discussion, but like, we need to have these every so often. In the past, like, however, 5, 6, 7 years, how many moments can you remember looking at a TV and just screaming because your mind has been blown by either something exceptional or just something so unexpected? Because I was just looking back, the ones I can think of are Brazil losing to Germany 7-1. Barcelona coming back from 4-1 down to win 6-1 or whatever it was, even though that was cheated. But that last second Neymar to Sergio Roberto, that's exceptional. What else in the past couple of years?
Well, that's it. You're making the point there. You're making the point.
Yeah.
I fell in love with football in '77 when I went to watch United play Wolves. But I was really fortunate to see my very first World Cup in '78, Argentina.
Yeah.
You're looking at Mario Kempes with his long locks, and you're looking at the superb Dutch team, which were just outstanding. And Argentina went on to win it. The kits, the football.
That's fair, Jacob. Sorry, that's a good point. Sorry, sorry for interrupting. That's a good game. Actually. Sorry, that was. Yeah.
The ticker tape. You don't see ticker tape on stadiums anymore. And it just got me hooked. I was absolutely hooked from then onwards. Watching United live and then watching the World Cup, and I was hooked. And you haven't got that sense of theatre anymore. And Jacob was saying, why is football so good? That's why it was so good. It's your memories. Yeah. People get into football for different reasons, whether they kick a ball out in the street or they go with their uncle or their dad. And everybody's got their own reason for loving football. And my worry about it is that it's just being sucked away from people. The actual enjoyment of football is being sucked away from people at the minute, because it's either too tactical or it's just too slow. There's no speed in the game anymore. It's a real shame. It's a real shame.
No, I can agree.
If I were to put it in a statement, like, before there was magic, now it's like all science, some magic, but it's all science right now. So I think that's one way. Like, during the old days, like, if you didn't know how something worked, it was magic. But when you figured it out, it got boring. So I think that's how football is right now. They figured it out, and then
what a good point.
It's already boring.
Yeah, like that.
It's a great point.
Yeah, it's a great point. And that's the exact problem for me is Falcao's Super Cup performance versus Chelsea for Atletico had me on my feet. Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. I don't actually remember that.
Oh, yeah, he was dynamite that game.
Yeah,
he was absolutely dynamite. Falcao was that game. He got his move to Monaco after that, I believe.
Monaco, such a waste of a career to go there. Like, guys, we're 2 likes away, and we're going into the last question. So please, I still have to answer this question as well. But this game was like, the game is gone too sanitized. It's gone too commercial. It doesn't feel like they can express themselves anymore, and that's what we live off. Like, the Ronaldinho goal was shared across Twitter. I think you shared it as well.
Chelsea.
Like against Chelsea, just a little wriggle. And then, we do not see that. We do not see that freedom of expression. He was probably the last. Is he probably the last truly free player that could just go out and field and do what he wants? Maybe, Messi, Ronaldo, or they can do what they want. I get that. But like someone who just was sent out and just whatever genius hits you, go for it. That's what.
Yeah, do you know? I think you're probably right. Yeah, I think he was. I mean, at Barcelona, he was just something special. And to play alongside a 17-year-old Messi. I think he was 17, wasn't he, when he made his debut for Barcelona? 17. You got Iniesta, very young Iniesta on the bench. You've got a very young Xavi playing. You've got a Puyol playing at the back. You've got Valdez in goal. I mean, you talk about quality football inside, and you got that. And then, of course, Real Madrid at the time had Zidane, didn't they? Beckham.
Yeah.
A very young Ramos.
Playing, Jesus,
Casilla in goal. Casillas, sorry, not Casilla. Casillas in goal. And you don't see that anymore. You just, and it's such a shame.
We could reminisce for fucking hours, but I'm gonna say my favorite goal against us was a game we won and it came out of nowhere and it was against Liverpool. The same game Martial scored in, but Benteke's goal.
Oh yeah,
against the overhead kick. Jesus Christ,
I'd forgotten about that.
That goal,
because the reaction was just, wow, what a goal!
Yeah, and especially from Benteke. But that is the only goal I remember ever active. Like United didn't score, or against United anyway. That I remember actively looking up because I remember I didn't have to feel anything about it because we won the game. He scored maybe 3 goals since in his entire career. So there's no moral baggage I'm bringing onto this.
I'd forgotten about that. Good shout that is, Joe. Really good.
Very much. I don't want to brag or anything, but I'm a bit of a genius.
Puts me and Jeff in the shade, doesn't it, Jeff?
Well, actually, I think there's the last question here before maybe I do the big question. Help us get 2 likes. I think this might be for you, Stuart. What's the fun? It's by some incredibly handsome young man. What's the funniest thing ever that has ever thing to happen? What's the funniest thing to ever happen to you at an away game? Stuart, I guess just Stuart. I guess we can just sit back and enjoy. Jeff, guys, get us 2 more likes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
It wasn't actually an away game. It wasn't an away game. It was a work thing. I'm very fortunate to travel the world and meet a variety of different people with what I do for work. And I was doing some work with Falcon Tires, and you might or may not know that Falcon Tires are a sponsor and a supporter of some scummy team in Liverpool.
Boo! Never heard of them. Boo!
Called Liverpool. Anyway, I got a phone call. Would I like to go to a training day at Melwood? So we get coached by the coaches at Melwood. So I said, yeah, okay, that'd be quite good fun. I'll go have a bit of a laugh. Anyway, as part of the package, I was asked for my shirt size. And they were sponsored by New Balance at the time. And I thought, well, it's just going to be a New Balance shirt, etc. So that's no problem. So we got there, which was pretty good. Met a couple of their players. Aldridge. I grew up with Aldridge. I thought he was a great player in his time. And I had a look around Melwood, and they were transferred to the brand new training ground, which was, again, equally quite cool. Got in there and they sent us to the changing rooms, and I walked in and I couldn't fucking believe what I was seeing. They had my name on the back of their home shirts.
Oh no!
My name on the back of their home shirt, and we were told to wear the home shirts for this training session with Aldridge and that. And I refused to wear it. I wouldn't put it on. so there's a picture of the players, Aldridge and Alan Kennedy and their coaches. Everyone's wearing a Liverpool kit apart from me.
You're shirtless.
I'm wearing my Wellington Amateurs top.
Amazing.
And then to make matters worse, we were then taken to Anfield on the Liverpool first team coach. which was even worse. So I had quite a bad day that day. And I did draw on Mo Salah's seat.
Oh God!
To do it. So I couldn't believe what I was doing. I've got the shirt still, and I just can't bear to do anything with it. So if you can imagine a Man United fan walking into a changing room with your name on the back.
Oh my God!
Of the shirt that is the most. Oh no, I couldn't do it. So anyway,
I think Brown Knight has summed it up perfectly here. And Stu wearing a Liverpool shirt. But it'd be Joe wearing a Declan Rice England shirt. Yeah, never gonna happen. And all credit to you, Stuart. Yeah, all credit to you. All credit to you.
I got a lot of stick for it. I've got photos somewhere. I'll dig them out and I'll show you.
Yes, please do.
It's quite funny with everybody in Liverpool shirts and me in my Wellington amateur shirts. There's no way I just wouldn't do it.
Damn
right.
But
I did get to play football with Aldridge though. John Aldridge.
I got Irishman.
Me mate Aldo now.
Aldo, yeah. Oh, do you let you call you Aldo?
Yeah, I called him Aldo. I've got an Andy Cole story as well at some point over the next.
We'll
okay.
that.
And a
Robbo
story, show. You know, and I've got quite a few because Man United is sponsored by Gulf Oil, as we all know. Yeah. So every time we go away with Gulf Oil, you usually get an ambassador. So Andy Cole or Maisie or whoever. So you get to see. Yeah. So we've got a few Andy Cole stories.
Okay, well, next time I'm hosting, I'll make sure the handsome fella asks you a question about Andy Cole. But we got 20 likes, so I'm going to ask the question.
Oh, yeah,
we did. They might have been off my burner accounts, but they still count. The question is: we brought up the game which Ronaldo scored a hat trick in. So absolutely incredible goal. Over 21 likes now, brilliant. John Alvarez, a Poundland, Ian Rush. Sure, but he was fucking gold star for us, Stuart.
Brown Knight, kicking the balls would have felt less painful. Brown Knight, you're absolutely fucking right, mate. You are spot on, mate.
But the question, Ronaldo scored a hat-trick against us in the 4-3. We won 4-3. Which of our players scored twice? Don't scream it out, because I felt like one of you was going to. One of our players scored twice in that game. Whoever gets it right will be put into a draw for Football Town Apparel, the first 5 people. So, what do we do while we wait? And someone might have got it right, but I'm not going to say it if they did.
I have a kid story too.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. So there's a small football field that opened up in the city like 5 years ago, something like that. And then it was colored blue, so it's not an official field whatsoever. And then it was sponsored. Well, the main attraction were the young husbands. They came out of the Chelsea Academy, and they were the first decent Filipino football players to. Well, they're not Filipino, but for the national team, like they were the first to sacrifice their nationality just to play for us, right?
Oh, okay.
And of course, the field was blue, and during that time, our away kit was the black and blue stripe one. So this was this is a longer time of 2013.
Oh, crikey, we had Ashley Young playing for us then, didn't we?
Yeah, that one, and the Nani also in Chicharito, yeah.
Yeah, my lad had that,
yeah. So I went to the pitch, and I found out the reason the field was blue because it was sponsored by Chelsea.
Oh,
it was just a friendly game, but they only had it was 7 aside, and they only had 14 players, and they didn't have any choice but to play me in a United kit. So what they made me do is wear the substitute vest. Like the orange one, just to cover the seal.
Oh,
yeah. So that's mine.
That's a great one. That's a
good one. That is, that is a good one.
So the answer was, you know the answer, by the way, guys, before without looking in the chat to the question I asked you.
Right, he scored twice.
David Beckham. Yeah, he scored twice. Come on, the sub and scored twice. I love that. Yeah, John, you got it right. Jacob, you're in. Brown Knight, you're in. Stuart's in. Fred has not been on the show. Has not been in the chat all day. Yeah. And he just shows up to get the fifth spot.
Beckham was off the bench, right? He was off the bench.
Yeah, he came off the bench because
he went
there was a big fallout.
Summer, didn't he? Went in the summer.
Yeah, went to Madrid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Son of a
Yeah,
bitch.
he did,
Son of
yeah.
a bitch. Curse you.
Good old Fred.
Well played, Fred. Well played. But guys, that's been our show for this evening. We're coming for
Declan Scott.
Okay, I'm not. No one named Declan is allowed. Just give it to me for fuck's sake. We mate. Yeah, guys, take care of Declan. Okay. Rude. OG Bex.
Cool lads.
Okay. Yeah. So guys, we are on. Yeah. What day is today? It's Friday. Saturday we'll be on Uncut. I think that's what we're calling it. Uncut. All for United from 10 o'clock.
Cool.
I will be.
Back.
Yeah. And guys,
Nice.
just I am going to be hammered because we're doing
You'll be
I will be good because we're doing a family like quiz beforehand and drinks and stuff like that and favorite takeout curry and rice. Is this like I don't even know if that's a genuine answer what you're saying there, John, or you're still trying to hurt me. So we're doing a Zoom quiz and then we're having drinks after. And I will be that's a good pun. Hammer red, yeah. So I will be locked. So if you want to see me going off loose, join me then. And after that, we'll be there for a Sunday post game with Wall of Reds. Sorry, not Wall of Reds, with Cartic. And during the game, so go to All for United for that on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Keep up to date for the post match reaction. And tuning in tomorrow. Looking forward to seeing Piss show. Yeah, it'll be fun. Joe will tell us what he really thinks of us. There's every possibility. Anything can happen for the right price. But make sure to join us. Thanks so much, Ugly Bear. Make sure to join us for that. Make sure a couple of lads, hopefully the lads will be back for Wall of Reds that night as well. And then Women's Weekly, I think, will be on Sunday afternoon now because the game. But I can't be too sure on that. But keep up to date by following on Twitter. And subscribe to the channel, and just thanks so much. And the draw will be tomorrow for all that stuff. So find out tomorrow if you'll win it. I'm going to put myself in 1,000 times. But make sure to follow Stuart on Twitter. Make sure to follow Jeff on Twitter. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. And we'll see you again very, very soon. All the best. Lovely evening. 3 points are coming.